All right, let's dive into something super interesting today. Um, have you ever wanted to, just be less bothered by things?
Oh, yeah. Like totally zen, right?
Exactly, like a Zen master.
Yeah.
That's what we're exploring today. We're looking at the work of Joe Dispenza.
Oh, I've heard of him.
Yeah, he's this motivational speaker who talks about, rewiring our brains. We're using one of his YouTube videos for this deep dive.
Cool. So what's the, main takeaway?
Well, he really emphasizes that we have a choice in how we react to stuff. Like, even when things are annoying, it's our perception, our response that shapes our experience.
Makes sense.
He uses this example of, getting cut off in traffic.
Ugh, I hate when that happens.
Right. But, think about it. You weren't actually hurt, right? It's our mind that creates the negative experience.
True. We let those little things get to us.
Exactly. So it's not about ignoring our emotions. It's about how we respond to them.
Right. Like that whole fight or flight response, right?
Yeah, the classic.
Yeah. It's a physiological thing, like hardwired. But by understanding it, we can learn to choose a different path.
So it's like hitting the pause button before we react. But how do we actually do that?
Well, he talks about developing these qualities of imperturbability and
Unflappability.
yes, unflappability. It's like working out, but for your mind, like mental muscles.
I like that. Spiritual weightlifting, he calls it.
Yeah, exactly. It takes effort, but the payoff is huge. I mean, think about it. You would have so much more energy. You wouldn't make those rash decisions. You could handle tough situations with more grace.
Makes sense. But, how do we retrain ourselves to not just react automatically? Dispenza talks about stopping those negative thought patterns and, reframing.
Reframing, yeah.
Yeah.
Some powerful stuff. Imagine you've got this annoying coworker. Instead of getting all caught up in the negativity, you could see it as a chance to practice patience.
So shifting our perspective, it's like that analogy he uses. The child-proof lid on a medicine bottle.
Yeah.
Frustrating for a kid, but to a parent, it's protection. It's all about how you see it.
Totally. And, our brains are amazing. They can actually change based on our experiences.
Neuroplasticity, right.
Bingo. Every time you reframe a situation, you're creating new pathways in your brain.
Wow. So it's not about pretending nothing bothers you. It's about actually changing your brain. That's amazing.
Exactly. It's like a deeper level change. And you know what? Dispenza even suggests that if we keep practicing this, we start to give off a different kind of energy. We become calmer.
Like a different vibe.
Yeah, like that. So we become less bothered, but we also kind of affect the world around us.
Whoa. Okay, so we're changing our own energy, but then that also impacts others.
Exactly. It's like when we're always reacting to every little thing that bugs us, we're kind of giving our power away. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like letting things control us.
Right. But what if, instead of letting outside stuff control us, we took back that control?
Sounds great. But how?
Well, it starts by looking inward, cultivating that inner peace.
Inner peace.
Yeah. It's like, creating a shield between us and all the craziness out there.
So it's not about pretending challenges don't exist. It's more like changing how we deal with them.
Exactly. Like Dispenza says, we become a force of nature.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah. Not like we control everything, but more like, we're unshakable, like a mountain in a storm.
I see. It's about having that inner strength so we don't get blown over by every little thing.
Right. And when we have that strength, we don't waste energy on things that don't really matter. We can focus on what's really important.
That makes a lot of sense. So it's not just about feeling better. It's about being more effective, getting things done.
Exactly. And Dispenza takes it even further. He says that by shifting our inner state, we can actually impact the world around us.
Wait, really? How does that work?
It's kind of like this thing called vibrational frequency. The idea is that we all give off a certain energy.
Okay, I'm following.
So when we're stressed, negative, we give off a low frequency. But when we're peaceful, happy, our frequency goes up.
So does that mean we attract good things?
Not exactly. It's more about aligning ourselves with what we want to create in our lives.
Oh, I see. It's about being our best selves, living up to our potential.
Yes, exactly that. It's like shedding all the baggage, the negativity and all that, and really stepping into our power.
This is all really powerful stuff. But honestly, it sounds like a lot of work. Where do we even begin?
It all starts with awareness. Noticing when you get hooked by a negative thought. And instead of getting swept away by it, you just stop, breathe, and observe it without judgment.
Kind of like that mindfulness practice we were talking about.
Exactly. You're creating space between the thing that's bugging you and your reaction to it. And in that space, you have a choice.
A choice to react differently. Wow, that's pretty deep.
It is. And it's a practice. It takes time and effort, but it's so worth it.
I can see how this whole becoming less bothered thing could be really life-changing, but I bet some people would think it's all a bit, I don't know, too out there.
I get that. But we're not talking about ignoring reality. Problems are still going to exist.
Yeah.
This is about having the tools to deal with those problems in a better way.
So we're not running away from challenges, we're just becoming better equipped to face them.
Right. It's about resilience, adaptability, being able to handle whatever life throws at you.
Yeah.
And it all starts with that inner shift.
One thing I find really cool is how Dispenza connects all of this to making the world a better place.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
He believes that when more people find that inner peace, it creates a ripple effect.
It's like our individual efforts to be less bothered can actually help everyone.
Exactly. It's not just personal growth. It's about evolving as a whole society.
I'm really starting to get how profound all of this is, but I'm wondering, how do we actually take these ideas and use them in our everyday lives?
That's the key question, right? How do we make it practical? Well, luckily, Dispenza gives us some tools. He talks about like conscious breathing.
Oh, yeah. I've heard that before. Taking deep breaths and all that.
Yeah. Sounds simple, but it really works. When you feel yourself getting all worked up, just take a few deep breaths.
But how does that actually, make you less bothered?
Well, it's like this. When we get stressed, our bodies go into that fight or flight mode, right?
Right.
But when we breathe deeply, it tells our nervous system that everything's okay. We can chill out.
So we're basically hitting the reset button. Pretty cool. What else does he suggest?
Visualization.
Visualization.
Yeah, like instead of thinking about what's bugging you, try picturing yourself handling it calmly.
Ah, so it's like practicing in our minds.
Exactly. And the more we do that, the more those neural pathways in our brains get stronger.
It's like we're actually rewiring ourselves to be less reactive.
You got it.
Yeah.
And you don't need to spend hours doing it. Just a few minutes a day can make a difference.
Okay, so breathing, visualization, anything else?
Gratitude. Focusing on what we're grateful for can really shift our perspective.
Yeah, but sometimes it's hard to feel grateful when you're really frustrated.
I know what you mean.
Right.
But it's not about pretending everything's perfect.
Right.
It's more like, even when things are tough, we can still find things to appreciate.
Makes sense. It's like working a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it gets. So with all these techniques, breathing, visualizing, being grateful, it sounds like we're taking control of our reactions instead of letting things control us.
That's the whole idea. We have more power than we think to choose how we experience the world.
This has been amazing. I feel like I have a whole new toolbox for dealing with life's little annoyances.
Me too. And I think the biggest takeaway is that, becoming less bothered is an ongoing process.
Yeah, it's not like we flip a switch and suddenly we're Zen masters.
Exactly. It's about keep practicing, being aware of our thoughts and feelings, and making conscious choices.
So it's not about being perfect, it's about getting better every day.
And as we do that, we're not only helping ourselves, but we're also contributing to a more peaceful world.
Well said. So before we wrap up, I want to leave our listeners with something to think about. What if you could actually choose to be unbothered, not just act like it? Like, what if you could change your perspective so much that nothing could really shake you?
Wow, that's a powerful question.
Right. It's all about realizing our potential. So as you go about your day to day, pay attention to those moments when you start to feel bothered. Try out some of the techniques we talked about. You might be surprised at how strong and peaceful you can be.
And remember, even small changes can make a big difference. Not just for you, but for everyone around you.
This has been such an insightful deep dive. Thanks for joining me.
It was my pleasure. Until next time.